Hey guys, my name is Lanix, and I'm here to talk about games. Not just about games, but primarily about games. This video is going to be a little long, and I wanted it separated from the rest of the videos. I didn't do any preparation for this at all, and you're going to see in the rest of the video that that's pretty standard for me, not doing any kind of preparation. I'm always a little behind, so everything is a little rushed. I also become flustered and anxious in front of a camera, and I'll lose my train of thought. Most of my videos in general, but this video specifically, are going to be a little long, and I'm going to be a little more rambly than normal. It may take me a little while to get to my point, but I will get to the point. So if I get a little sappy and a little emotional, I'm sorry about that, and you'll just have to bear with me this time. I'll try to keep it out of future videos, but for right now, just keep that in mind. When I was younger, most of my childhood and part of my teenage years, I thought I was going to be a writer. That books were going to be that one special skill that you naturally excel at and you don't even have to try. And I wrote constantly. But I found quickly that what I had in talent, I lacked in ambition. Not that I didn't have, the imagination or the creative drive. It's that I didn't have the follow-through to finish anything. And I needed, for lack of a better word, I needed help to get things done. And for a while as a teenager, I had, friends that we would write things together, and that kept you going for a little while, but as an antisocial person who has difficulty making friends, it didn't last forever. Once I was out of school and continued looking for things that I would just be naturally good at, because clearly the written word wasn't where it was going to be, I came across numbers. I was pretty good with finance and economics. Not good enough to do anything with it, and when I was 19, I started working on my first game. Now, this had been in a point of my life where I was at the top of my game. I felt like I could do anything, and that's probably a big key for why I continued doing what I'm doing now. Things quickly went south from there, and it was left behind until several years later when I discovered that I could make games in their entirety inside my head. And I could make games the way that most people play them. And that's not me bragging, because I'm not special. Everybody has a skill like that they're just naturally really good at. And if you don't have a skill like that, you haven't tried enough things to find it yet. And that's important. You can do whatever you want to do. If you want to put in the time and the energy and the effort, and you work hard at things that everyone else tells you that you can't do, you'll be fine. And you'll be fine as long as you have a passion for what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you become rich or famous doing it, because you love doing it, you're good at doing it, and just doing it is its own reward. You're getting better at it, and people will respond to that. The more you do it, the better at it you'll get. And getting better at something is the best reward that you could have. Being good at something is fantastic, but that's the end goal. From there, there's nowhere to go. Sucking at something is the most fun you can have. down at the bottom, everything is new and exciting, like the way that I am right now with these YouTube videos. Now, I'm new with YouTube, and I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm using old equipment that any other YouTuber would say is obsolete, but at the bottom of the barrel, I don't have anything to put into it. I don't have the skill to say that this is a passion yet, but I will always come back to it. It may take a little bit longer than normal because I can't schedule things or prepare in any way, as you've found to date. When you see a video of mine get put up, I probably recorded it the day before. Now, most people have 2 or 3 weeks of work in advance, and I just can't do that. I don't have the time to get that kind of ahead, and when something happens, as it almost always does, then I get behind, and you guys have to suffer, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to push to go further with this, but I'm not going to give up on my passion. My passion is making games. Now, you might think video games, and I probably could, but that's not what I do. And there's tons of people out there doing video games. Independent development is one of the largest growing markets in the entertainment industry. But I specialize in tabletop games, whether they be paper RPGs, board games in the traditional sense like Monopoly or Clue or Trouble or any of the 1,000 other board games that exist. And there are new ones coming out all the time. So it is a market that does exist. Or card games, which were huge a while ago and really aren't now, but even so, it is one of the game types that I work on. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about the importance of going for what you want. What is it that you guys want to do with your lives? Maybe not with your entire life. I'm not saying you have to devote it to one thing, but is there something that you're really good at and you enjoy doing? Like, just naturally, you can just think of things and it's done. Just in your head, you have every facet of it completed. Because you can do it if you put the time and the effort in. And other people that want to break into YouTube, anybody can do it. If I can do this, anybody can do this, okay? And all of the big greats will tell you the same thing. If you put your mind to it and you want to put in the effort and you have a good idea, because everything starts with ideas. And an idea can start off really small and insignificant and quickly, without any reason at all, expand to be almost completely outside your grasp on reality. It covers everything, and you can't even see the ends of it now. And any idea can be that way. If you have that and you have the drive to just push for it, no matter what people say, people are always going to tell you that you can't do it, or that you shouldn't do it, or it's never going to do anything for you, or you're never going to make a living at it, or you're wasting your time, or you could put your energy into something else. But if you listen to them, you weren't going to make it. You have to just push everything you've got into what you're doing. And it doesn't matter that other people don't believe in you or tell you that you're no good at it, because you will be. If you keep doing it, you will be. Now, doing the YouTube work is hard, okay? I'm not going to lie about it. It is hard. And you guys see 5% of it, the time in front of a camera, which is usually the fun part, because then you have to go through all of the editing and scheduling and changing annotations and settings for each individual track, multi-tracking if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to get fancy with it, which of course everybody does because you have almost no chance of being noticed unless you do. Now there are exceptions. There are people that are just really good at their little niche, and they got a huge following based on something that wasn't even really difficult to put together, and that was the old way of doing things. But as some people started getting better, all of the ones that got really popular had to follow suit. And that can be good and that can be bad, but it does make it much harder for newbies like me to break into the field. Especially if you don't have the time or the budget that some of the people that devote their life to this do. Now, that's about YouTube, but about games. Games also start with ideas. Everything is going to start with an idea. It's going to be something small, and it's going to be something that you almost completely overlook. And that little idea could be the greatest thing you've ever accomplished. And it'll just slowly build, and then just out of nowhere, and that tiny little idea is a fully fledged game or structure that you have created all of. And if you're doing games, it could be you started with, I want to do something with this, and then by the time you finished that thought, you have thought out the entire board, all of the spaces and how it's going to play and all of the things that are going to go into it, and that is the kind of creative passion that you have to do it. Now, that's not saying that all of them are going to be that way, but that's how you know that that's the thing for you. If you're going to devote yourself to it, you will know that you've made the right choice when that happens. And it may be a big thing, it may be a small thing, it may be something that you eventually just completely get rid of because some things just don't work out. No ideas are bad ideas. They may not be useful right now, but any idea that you have could be useful for something. Maybe not this, maybe not the thing that you're working on, but go ahead and write it down. Make sure that you remember that you had that idea, because sometime you may be working on something and that idea comes up again, and that would be perfect. And you would be surprised how often that happens. The pieces just fit together perfectly, and you couldn't have planned that better. And there is no better feeling than having the pieces fit perfectly. Now, the next video in this series, meaning on this playlist, because this particular video is just me kind of rambling and wanting to be, I don't know, to tell you what I do and why. I wanted to do something, and I found that I just wasn't cut out for that. And I kept trying things, and I wasn't cut out for that, and I wasn't cut out for the next thing, or the next thing, and all of the support that I had got cut out, and I lost friendships, lost relationships because of that, and eventually it just clicked, and I knew, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do, and I don't care what anybody says. You can tell me that I suck at it, and I'm going to keep doing it anyway, and that's how you know you've made the right choice. Everybody has something like that. Everybody has that one button, that one unique skill that they're going to do no matter what. They're going to keep at it. And other people are going to say that they're crazy. They're going to say that they're wasting their time and nothing's going to happen because of that, and they would be wrong. Something is going to happen. You may not get rich and famous doing it, but something will happen. Don't ever give up on your dreams. Because when everything else is gone, when you come to the end of the road and look back at the path that you've traveled, dreams are what led you there. And you can say you didn't take the easy path. A lot of people will. They'll just, whatever looks like it would be the easiest life for them, but easy lives are never interesting lives. And interesting lives always have conflict. And that's a big part of what you're going to do and what you're going to face. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I've completely lost the context of what this video is. Anyway, the rest of this playlist is going to be the creation of games, and we're going to make games together. And we're going to make other things together too. I didn't give up on writing. I just didn't want to devote myself to it. And that writing is going to end up being stories that interact with you guys. You guys are going to be the friends and the, acquaintances and the readers that write the story that I just perform. I'm just the dude that gives you the end product. You guys are going to make it. And we're going to make it together. Everything that I do is going to be with the help of you guys. We would be nothing without you. You are way more important than I am. Don't ever forget that. That is also true of every channel that you watch. And a lot of you guys watch a lot of the big channels. You probably watched PewDiePie and Tobuscus if you're into games. You may know Markiplier, you may know the Game Grumps, you may know Vsauce, you may know Game Theory, you may know any of the various music channels, and all of them would be nothing if it weren't for you guys. Little guys, big guys, all the ones in between, all of us are doing this for you. And some of you are going to be what they are. You're just not there yet. You haven't found that thing that you're going to do that's just going to take the world by storm. But you will. I have faith in you. Okay, my next videos in this playlist are going to be creating a game, and we're going to do that together. So the next video is going to be brainstorming ideas for a new game. And I'm going to see you then. Thank you so much for watching. Click the annotations for other things that I've done if I ever put anything else up. Make sure to leave a comment in the description. If I like it, I will read it aloud at the end of my next video. And you guys are beautiful, and I love you. And I will see you again when the saga continues. This is Lanix. Bye-bye, everybody.